All right, let us talk about the real-world knowledge that does not always make it into the factory manual. If you spend enough time burning powder on the range, you start picking up certain tricks. I am talking about the kind of street-level wisdom you only get from seasoned combat veterans, high-master competition shooters, and old-school gunsmiths. Some of this stuff is so brilliantly simple, it will make you mad you did not think of it first. Other tactics we cover today might completely shatter the FUD lore you grew up hearing at the local gun counter. We are going to cover everything from nuclear option cleaning methods to training hacks that will tighten your groups by this weekend. These are the 10 principles that separate the occasional plinker from the true armed professional. Grab a cup of coffee and let us get down to business. Number 10. The nuclear option for heavily fouled barrels. A lot of guys think you need a $50 bottle of boutique solvent to punch out stubborn copper and lead. But there is an old armorer's trick utilizing basic household chemistry that will strip a bore down to the bare steel. You take a small glass jar and you mix a 50-50 blend of plain white vinegar and standard hydrogen peroxide. What you are brewing up is peracetic acid, and it eats through heavy leading and jacket fouling like a blowtorch through butter. Got a neglected revolver with a cylinder face caked in scorch marks? Dip a bronze brush in this mix, hit it lightly, and those rings wipe right off. But listen to me closely on this. You cannot leave this solution sitting on your firearm. It is highly aggressive, and if you leave it in the bore overnight, it will start micro-pitting your rifling. Once the gunk is out, you must completely flush the metal with non-chlorinated brake cleaner. Follow that up immediately with a heavy coat of premium gun oil to neutralize the reaction. And never, ever shoot ammunition that has come into contact with this stuff. The acid will degrade the brass casing and cause a catastrophic blowout. Keep this trick in your back pocket for emergencies only. Number 9. Turning household trash into precision reloading treasure. Rolling your own ammo, whether it is .357 Magnum or .277 SIG, gets expensive fast. But you do not need to buy every plastic gadget in the catalog to run an efficient press. Let us talk about static electricity in your powder measure. It makes your flakes bridge and clump, throwing off your charge weights. Grab a basic laundry dryer sheet. Wipe down the inside of your plastic powder hopper and your funnels. That kills the static charge instantly, allowing your powder to meter smooth as glass. Need a cheap way to track seating depths and group sizes during load development? Color the ogive of your bullets with different colored Sharpie markers before you seat them. When those rounds punch paper downrange, they leave a faint colored ring around the bullet hole. This lets you shoot multiple test loads at the exact same point of aim. You can easily identify which charge weight grouped the tightest, especially when the wind starts blowing. Keep a box of thin nitrile gloves on the bench to keep the oils from your skin off your primers. These cheap little tricks will dramatically streamline your reloading process. Number 8. Finding your rifle's true seating depth on a dime. If you are chasing sub-MOA accuracy, knowing exactly where your bullet engages the rifling is absolutely critical. Most guys drop top dollar on a specialized Hornady overall length gauge, or they just guess based on the manual. Here is a brilliant gunsmith shortcut that costs you basically nothing. Take a piece of fired brass from your exact rifle and swab the inside of the case neck with a little bit of blue Loctite. Barely seat a fresh projectile into the mouth, just enough so it holds on. Carefully chamber that dummy round into your rifle, slowly close the bolt, and let it sit locked up for about 10 or 15 minutes. The lands of your rifling will push that bullet back into the case perfectly. When you extract it, the thread locker will have cured, locking the bullet at the exact absolute zero to your lands. You now have a permanent, custom-fit dummy gauge for that specific barrel. From there, you can back off your seating die by whatever jump your specific projectile prefers. Stop guessing and start loading with hard data. Number 7. Treating your magazines as disposable wear items. I see guys running the same beat-up, stamped steel magazines they bought in the early 2000X era, wondering why their rifle is choking. Magazines are the heart of your weapon system, and they are consumables, plain and simple. Now, contrary to popular belief, keeping a quality modern magazine fully loaded does not instantly kill the spring. The wear actually comes from the constant cycling of the spring compressing and decompressing over hundreds of rounds. However, feed lips absolutely can spread or crack over time, especially on polymer mags left sitting in hot trucks. You need to establish a strict rotation and inspection schedule. Every time you clean your gun, take your mags apart, wipe out the carbon, check the follower for tilt, and inspect the feed lips for burrs or stress fractures. If a magazine induces a failure to feed on the range, do not throw it back in your range bag to screw you over later. Mark the base pad with a paint pen and relegate it to malfunction drills only, or crush it in a vise and throw it away. Your life is worth more than a $15 piece of plastic. Number 6. Reading the brass like a professional armorer. When your gun goes click instead of bang, your first instinct should not be to blindly rip the action apart. The firearm is talking to you. You just need to know how to listen. Let us say you pull the trigger and get a dead trigger. Eject that round and look at the primer. If there is a deep, solid crater from the firing pin, the gun did its job. You just experienced a bad primer from the factory. If that strike mark is faint or off-center, your gun is failing. You likely have carbon packed into the firing pin channel or a weak striker spring that needs replacing. Experiencing stovepipes or failures to extract? Before you blame the gun, look at your grip. A weak wrist will rob the slide of the rearward momentum it needs to cycle. If your grip is locked down tight, then inspect your extractor claw for chipped edges or weakened spring tension. Double feeds usually mean the magazine feed lips have spread out of spec, puking 2 rounds into the action at once. Lock the slide back, rip the mag out, clear the deck, and get back to work. Methodical troubleshooting will save you a trip to the gunsmith. Number 5. Mastering the tap, rack, reassess. When you are running a course of fire and the gun halts, you do not have time to stand there scratching your head. You need one gross motor skill action that clears 90% of common stoppages. That is the classic tap, rack, and reassess drill. First, you aggressively slam the heel of your hand into the base plate of the magazine. You would be shocked how many failures happen simply because the mag was not fully seated past the magazine catch. Second, you reach up, grab the rear serrations, violently rack the slide all the way to the rear, and let it fly home. Do not ride the slide forward. Let the recoil spring do the work. This motion forcefully ejects any dead brass or mangled cartridges and strips a fresh round into the chamber. Finally, you punch the gun back out, get your dot or front sight on target, and reassess the threat. In a defensive encounter, your fine motor skills evaporate. You need this drill hardwired into your muscle memory through countless repetitions. Number 4. What not to do on the cleaning bench. Stop ruining your guns with garage workshop maintenance. I have seen more high-end 1911 pistols and precision rifles destroyed by bad cleaning habits than by actual use. Listen to me carefully. Keep your automotive chemicals in the garage. Carburetor cleaner and oven cleaner will ruthlessly strip off Cerakote, anodizing, and bluing. Even heavy degreasers like Simple Green can chemically attack aluminum frames if left soaking. Stop using standard cotton Q-tips and paper towels inside your fire control group. They shred easily, packing microscopic fibers down into your sear springs, which will eventually cause a dead trigger. And for the love of everything holy, do not ever chuck a tornado brush into an electric drill to clean out a dirty chamber. You will absolutely destroy the chamber dimensions and ruin your head spacing. Use brass jags, quality lint-free patches, and proper gun solvents. And remember this rule: a filthy gun that is heavily lubricated will run all day long. A spotless gun that is bone dry will choke on the first magazine. Number 3. Surviving with brake cleaner and motor oil. Sometimes you are out hunting or in a multi-day training class, and your primary gear goes down hard. You do not always have your pristine tactical cleaning kit handy. In an absolute emergency, non-chlorinated brake cleaner is a phenomenal degreaser. It will blast carbon out of an M4 bolt carrier group in roughly 3 seconds. But there is a massive catch. It strips the steel completely bare, removing every microscopic layer of protective oil. If you blast a gun with brake cleaner, you have a window of minutes, not hours, to rehydrate that metal before flash rust sets in. If you forgot your gun lube, walk over to your truck and pull the dipstick. Standard synthetic motor oil is an incredible friction reducer. Dab a few drops onto the slide rails, the barrel hood, and the locking lugs. It handles extreme heat and stays slick under pressure. It might smell a little funny when the gun heats up, but it will keep your weapon cycling violently when you need it most. Number 2. Preventative maintenance and cleaning beyond the bare minimum. There is a toxic culture in the firearms community where guys brag about going 5,000 rounds without cleaning their carry gun. That is not a flex. That is pure negligence. Your firearm is life-saving emergency equipment, and it deserves to be treated as such. Powder residue is hygroscopic, meaning it actively pulls moisture out of the air and traps it against your steel. The longer you let carbon sit, the harder it bakes in, and the faster rust begins to pit your components. You need to break the gun down after every major range trip. Run a solvent patch down the bore, scrub the breech face, and re-lubricate the friction points. And do not forget about the safe queens. Guns sitting in a dark, humid safe for months on end are prime targets for surface rust. Pull them out every 90 days, wipe them down with a silicone cloth, and cycle the action. Regular maintenance is not just about aesthetics. It is a vital inspection process. It is how you find that cracked locking block, that walking trigger pin, or that dead tritium sight before it costs you your life. Number 1. Balancing rapid access with undeniable security. This is the heaviest responsibility we carry as armed citizens. You have to keep your weapons locked away from unauthorized users, while ensuring you can access them in 3 seconds or less in the dark. For your primary home defense weapon, ditch the cheap lockboxes with the tiny keys you will inevitably lose. You need a heavy-duty, quick-access safe, utilizing a simplex mechanical lock. They do not rely on batteries, they do not care if your fingers are sweaty, and they open instantly once you input the combination. Now, the old advice says store your gun unloaded with the ammo separate. Let me tell you right now, in the real world, an unloaded home defense gun is just an expensive club. Keep the weapon fully loaded inside that rapid access safe, so when you open that door, you are instantly in the fight. Do not rely on hiding spots like the top shelf of a closet or tucked under a mattress. Curious kids will find it, and home invaders know exactly where to look. Furthermore, let us talk about the human element. If a family member is going through a severe mental health crisis, battling depression, or fighting addiction, you need to be the adult in the room. Take the firing pins out, change the safe combination, or temporarily move the guns to a trusted buddy's house. We protect our families from all threats, and sometimes that means securing the hardware from the people inside the house. There you have it. 10 tactical shifts in your mindset and maintenance routine that will keep your guns running hard and shooting straight. Some of these might go against the grain of what the internet experts tell you, but this is the absolute reality of running weapon systems in the real world. I want to hear from you guys. What is your absolute favorite gun hack or maintenance trick that saves you time on the bench? Drop your knowledge down in the comments section below. If you found value in this breakdown and want to see more real-world, no-nonsense firearms content, you know what to do. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you do not miss our next upload. Stay safe, carry daily, and I will see you on the range.